I declare open this graduation ceremony. Please be seated. Well, graduating students, family, friends, colleagues and guests, really good morning to you and welcome to this Ulster University graduation ceremony. I'm Professor Paul Bartholomew. I'm Vice-Chancellor and President of Ulster University, and I want to start this ceremony as we mean to go on and saying to our class of 2025, congratulations. It's a privilege for me to preside over the ceremony today. It's the most important day of the university year, your graduation. Today is all about you. It's a celebration and we want you to enjoy every minute of it because, frankly, you deserve it. We also want everyone else who's come with you today to enjoy the occasion as well, and I hope you do. And I want to thank the mums and dads, husbands and wives, sons and daughters, sisters and brothers, grandparents, carers, friends, and all those who play an important part in your lives. It's fantastic to have so many of you here, and please do make your voices heard when your graduate crosses the stage. As presiding officer, I have the privilege of reflecting not only on what you've achieved, but on who you've become during your time at Ulster University. Because today perhaps just isn't a celebration of knowledge gained, but it's a recognition of character built. You leave here not only with a degree, but with something just as valuable, the qualities that will carry you forwards, not just in your careers, but in your lives. Qualities that we at Ulster have seen in you and helped you nurture, we hope. These qualities can perhaps be summed up by one word that we use within our own development materials at the university: brave. I don't necessarily mean the heroic sense, although sometimes I'm sure that can apply. I'm thinking more of the 5 words that sit behind that. So let me explain. The B in brave is for bold. You are bold. You had the courage to begin this journey, whether that be your undergraduate program or a postgraduate program. You had the courage to step into unfamiliar territory, to ask difficult questions, and to take on challenges that you may have once felt was far beyond your reach. Being bold is not about having no fear. It's about moving forwards in spite of it. And in our lecture halls, research labs, seminar rooms, computer labs, studios, societies, sports and communities, you've done just that. When you started your program, whether straight from school, your undergraduate program, or returning to study from a different career path, you brought with you curiosity, ambition, and questions about who you might become. Along the way, you were challenged, you wrestled with new ideas, pushed through difficult deadlines, and stretched beyond what you thought was possible. And each time you stepped outside of your comfort zone, you expanded your potential. You discovered that you could do more, think more deeply, and lead with more purpose than you ever imagined. That journey doesn't end today. In fact, it starts anew because your potential is not a fixed point. It's a horizon that keeps moving as long as you keep walking towards it. So keep being bold. Next comes R. You are resilient, and there's no journey without obstacles. There were deadlines you didn't think you could meet, assignments that tested your limits and your patience, moments where quitting perhaps felt easier than continuing. But here you are at your graduation. Your resilience has made you stronger, not just because you endured, but because you learned, you adapted, and you kept going. Then comes A. You are authentic. In a world that often pressures people to fit into a mold, you've had the courage to be yourself, to speak your truth, to show up fully, and contribute to your unique voice to our university. Authenticity isn't about perfection. It's about being real, being honest, and being grounded in who you are. And it's what makes you trustworthy and unforgettable. Then V. You're also versatile. You've had to pivot, rethink, collaborate across disciplines, and find creative solutions to new problems. The world you're entering, whatever sector that might be, will continue to change rapidly. But your ability to adapt without losing direction is one of your greatest assets. And finally, E. You are empowering. Through your time here, you've not only grown individually, but you've lifted others. Whether it was helping a classmate, mentoring, organising, advocating, or simply encouraging someone when they needed it, you've proven that real strength uplifts everyone. Being empowering demonstrates your confidence, your leadership potential, and your ability to work collaboratively. And in today's dynamic workplaces, success often hinges on teamwork, adaptability, and mutual support. So harness that ability, encourage ideas, foster inclusivity, and help others to grow. So these 5 characteristics, boldness, resilience, authenticity, versatility, and being empowering, summed up as brave, are not just what got you here to this day. They are perhaps what will define your success far beyond it. They can guide you in how you will lead, how you'll work, and perhaps even how you can live. And I say to you, graduates, you are ready. You've learned the theories, you've completed the dissertation, you've passed the exams, you've aced your studies. Simply, you did it. Now, as Vice-Chancellor, I do want to take a moment to thank all of those within the university who have helped you get here, my colleagues, many of whom are behind me, your lecturers, research supervisors and technicians, and all of the professional services teams. I'm sure that you would agree with me that they've done an outstanding job, and I'd wonder if you'd be kind enough to join me in a round of applause for them. Thank you very much for that enthusiasm. That was great. Now, before we get on with the ceremony, let me finish with the words of the great author and thinker Ralph Waldo Emerson. What lies behind us and what lies before us are tiny matters compared to what lies within us. Remember, be brave. The power to shape your future lies within you. Go out and make it extraordinary. Enjoy your day today, and on behalf of all of us, congratulations again. Thank you. In accordance with the wishes of the Senate and by virtue of the authority vested in me, I confer honorary degrees, and other academic distinctions of the University of Ulster on those named in the conferment list approved by the Senate. I call upon Professor Gormley Heenan, University Provost, to present Francesca Kay for the honorary degree of Doctor of Letters.
Vice-Chancellor, graduating students, colleagues and friends. Ulster University awards honorary doctorates to individuals in recognition of the outstanding contribution that they're making in their chosen fields and to our society. We believe that those people who receive honorary doctorates are inspirational role models for our students, our staff, and all of our partners. They're the sort of people that we can all look up to, people whose work, whose values, and whose passions can inspire us in our own personal and professional lives. And it's in this context that I am truly delighted to present Francesca Kay for the honorary degree of Doctor of Letters in recognition of her significant contribution to the arts, literature, and public service. No one can accuse Francesca Kay of living a mundane life. Born in London, the child of an Indian mother and British diplomat father, she lived her early years connected to the cosmopolitan and transient world of diplomacy before studying English at Somerville College in Oxford. Francesca's enormous talent as a writer of fiction only emerged in public in 2009, when her first novel, An Equal Stillness, was awarded the 2009 Orange Award for New Writers and was shortlisted for the best first book in the Commonwealth Writers' Prize Europe and South Asia region. Selected as the BBC's Book at Bedtime, reviewers commented on the glorious descriptions of colour, landscape and mood that remained in the mind long after reading the book. Importantly, for any aspiring writers or artists with us today, Francesca's success came only after what she describes as a whole box full of rejections. She said it took a very long time to break through the barricade of agents and publishers, and then, in the end, it was luck. I found the right agent who said yes, and then it was lovely. Subsequently, Francesca has published 3 further novels, each of which seems to be a radical departure from the next, yet each are connected by her ability, her remarkable capacity to weave pictures in words, and by her gentle and yet very profound reflections on the complexities and often the misery of the human experience. Her second novel, The Translation of Bones, was longlisted for the Orange Prize for Fiction, and her most recent novel, The Book of Days, has already been shortlisted for both the Winston Graham Historical Prize and the prestigious Walter Scott Prize for Historical Fiction. Remarkable as these literary achievements are, they are, however, not the only reason for today's ceremony. Since 2003, Francesca Kay has been the driving force, the organising principle, and the still centre of the British-Irish Association. Now, not everyone will have heard of the British-Irish Association, and that is absolutely intentional. For since 1972, the BIA has been making a unique contribution to better relationships between the people, the parties, and the governments of Britain and Ireland by convening a unique annual residential conference held under the Chatham House rules of privacy. As a result of that, leading figures from all parties in politics, business, community, and culture across these islands can engage in conversation and dialogue on the most challenging and thought-provoking issues without any fear of public misunderstanding. In some years, the BIA conference has been events where new and impending challenges have been raised for the very first time. In other years, they've kept open channels of communication which appeared to be closed. At others, BIA conferences have simply been opportunities to bring new perspectives to seemingly impossible disputes by creating a platform for unexpected dialogue and for problem solving. The BIA has established a unique credibility across the political spectrum, above all in its commitment to underpinning progress towards peace and prosperity in Northern Ireland. Indeed, one senior European diplomat recently said, "The British-Irish Association is a cornerstone of UK devolved, intergovernmental and at times international diplomacy. And if you scratch the surface, there are few agreements and few areas of diplomatic advancement in these past decades for these islands that have not in some way had a genesis in, been supported by, or were furthered by relationships made and conversations had at the British-Irish Association." Francesca Kay has been at the centre of these achievements for the last 20 years, establishing the annual agenda, which is both relevant and surprising, bringing coherence to a complex set of priorities of politicians, artists, civil servants, and community activists, and ensuring every year that the BIA conferences appear to run effortlessly. Francesca has brought to bear her skills as a diplomat, an analyst, and an organiser to the British, Irish, and Northern Irish affairs to produce something really, truly unique. Critically, though, she's brought her sensibility as an artist, which allows her to imagine a setting and allows others to shape and own what happens in it. In her very quiet but persistent imagining, Francesca Kay has been a true friend to this university, to Northern Ireland, and to British-Irish relations. And I know Francesca would be the first to acknowledge the support that she's received from her husband, Mark, and her 3 children, as well as wider family and friends. And we're delighted that we're joined today here by her daughter, Arabella. You're very welcome. Thank you for being here. And thank you, Francesca, for everything that you've done and everything that you continue to do. Vice-Chancellor, in the name of Ulster University Senate, I present Francesca Kay for the degree of Doctor of Letters, honoris causa.
Francesca Kay, in the name of the Senate, I present to you the honorary degree of Doctor of Letters, honoris causa. I now call upon Professor Connolly, Pro-Vice-Chancellor and Executive Dean of the Faculty of Arts, Humanities and Social Sciences, to present candidates.
Vice-Chancellor, in the name of the Senate, I present to you candidates for the Postgraduate Certificate in Professional Development in Social Work, Colleen Copeland. Sarah Amber Wilkinson. The degree of Bachelor of Science with Honours in Criminology and Criminal Justice and Diploma in Professional Practice, Cameron Blackstock. Quiver Ellen Louisa Carpenter. Caitlin McCauley. The degree of Bachelor of Science with Honours in Sociology with Criminology and Diploma in Professional Practice, Piers John Murphy. Aslan Terak. The degree of Bachelor of Science with Honours in Community Development, Catherine Elizabeth Clayton. Jaswil Rohi Emmanuel. Carl Richard Green. Emma Johnston. Connell Matthews. Amanda Marie McLaughlin. Siobhan Marie Shannon. Ashleen Mary White. The degree of Bachelor of Science of Honours in Community Youth Work, Noel Stanley Borrow. Rebecca Mary Brannigan. Holly Rose Clyde. Michael Anthony Cross. Katie Ann Doran. Kira Duffy. Alicia Gallagher Baird. Nathan Gary. Joseph Gibson. Croher Hayes. Aoife Keeley. Brian Kelly. Ainsley King. Demi Marie Laverty. Chloe Louise McGee. Darren McCann. Katie McCormick. Jack McKinnell. David McClernon. Callin Garagine McParland. Lee Mooney. Samantha Josephine Mullen. Danielle Murray. Ella Notcher. Shannon O'Connor. Georgia Evelyn Ram. Emma Redpath. Charles Smith. Kevin Thompson. Marcus Wilson. The degree of Bachelor of Science of Honours in Criminology and Criminal Justice, Holly Paula Jane Abraham. Jennifer Anderson. Laura Bell. Chloe Berry. Katie Black. Angel Lee Bradley. Andrew Breen. Matthew Brown. Nicola Boozer. George Butler. Lorna Byrne. Jessica Chambers. Matthew Chambers. Ryan Chambers. Cody Lee Coleman. Sarah Cushley. Amy Dillon. Jamie Doyle. Jack Ferguson. Jenny Louise Fisher. Rachel Flynn. Abigail Gibson. Jamie Gibson. Erin Gilmer. Ellie Beth Gervin. Autumn Jane Edith Glenn. Holly Gordon. Julia Grabarczyk. Ellie Hamill. Rebecca Hansen. Kirsty Hessen. Maeve Anna Holmes. Lucy Houston. Ellie Rose Howes. Aaron Hull. Quiver Hull. Kazim Hussain. Samantha Jagutskate. Lucy Jones. Lewis Kane. Anita Kennedy. Kira Olivia King. Rachel Lenehan. Rory Leonard. Jessica Lowry. Olivia Lutton. Grace Linus. Jacob Marwini. Zara Georgina Maureen McAllen. Victoria McCall. Timothy Mark McClure. Lydia McConnell. Leah McCormack. Matthew McCutcheon. Jacob McKernan. Zoe Jane McKinnon. Andrew McKnight. Michaela McNamee. Daniel Luke McQuillan. Hannah McVerry. Emma Mealy. Carla Mitchell. Rhiannon Morris. Athena Morrow. Veronica Moroz. Eve Jane Mullen. Jordan Mulligan. Sarah Louise Murray. Sheriff Okunola. Louise Patterson. Carla Fair. Stephen Brian Prenter. Georgia Riley. Rebecca Rogers. Zoe Rogers. Jodie Russell. Rebecca Sandel. Eve Shields. Rachel Simpson. Neve Fleur Sleet. Molly Smith. Cara Spence. Leona Stanley. Taylor Strain. Elise Taggart. Matthew Toms. Nathan Trimble. Anna Welsh. Ross Welsh. The degree of Bachelor of Science with Honours in Criminology and Criminal Justice Applied Practice, Craig William Walsh. The degree of Bachelor of Science with Honours in Health and Social Care Policy, Damiola Tosin Adebayo. Alex Dawn Balmer. Rihanna Billings. Shannon Burke. Jamie Cardwell. Nicole Eva Carey. Ursula Cosgrove. Anna Elizabeth Devlin. Katie Devlin. Deka Dualia Farah. Veronica Yazidi. Madison Goosley. Amy Hackett. Molly Harvey. Courtney Jameson. Abigail Killen. Lauren McAlinden. Darlene McComb. Carly McCord. Brona McCourt. Emma McGiven. Morgan Louise McMaster. Fiona McMonigal. Leslie Ann McNichol. Alanis Jan Miller. Cleena O'Prey. Jodie Spence. Christine Spilko. Neve Sturgeon. Eshu Sean Williams. The degree of Bachelor of Science of Honours in Politics and International Studies, Christian Bankhead. Jonathan Mark Besant. Aidan Boyd. Alexandra Connolly. Jake Conway. Kieran Padre Kaur. Callum Andrew Culbert. Cara Ann Doherty. Carl Duncan. Eve Isabella Elliott. Sasha Howell. India Kennedy. Neve Kilgallen. Neve Laverty. Orla McNamee. Jamie McCaig. Amy Daisy McGiven. Ryan McGreevy. James McLaughlin. Key McMonigal. Cameron Donald Muir. Matthew Shanks. Sarah Eileen Elizabeth Thompson. Paige Toman. Neil Vance. Michael Vaughan. Matthew Walker. Arlia Wright. And the degree of Bachelor of Science of Honours in Politics and International Studies with Criminology, Maya Davila. Alec Allen Greer. William Knight. Rebecca McBride. Erin O'Connor. Leah Watt. Morgan Weeks. The degree of Bachelor of Science of Honours in Social Policy, Orla Green. Sophie McGinn. Angela McCaulfield. Shane McCrory. Alana McKee. Elizabeth O'Neill. The degree of Bachelor of Science of Honours in Social Policy with Criminology, Shona Byers. Sasha Calderwood. Rebecca Clark. Molly Cruvers. Gemma Margaret Hughes. Dervla Morgan. Grace Patton. Nicole Amy Rogan. Cara Patricia Wallace. The degree of Bachelor of Science of Honours in Social Policy with Sociology, Blanid Brennan. Scott Elder. Kira Hall. Leah Malson. Niall Morrisroe. The degree of Bachelor of Science of Honours in Sociology, Adam Atkinson. Annalicia Brown. Katie Chambers. Eden Joan Crockett. Adam Hutton. Jack Keating. Jack Kerr. Lucy McCulloch. Caitlin McGrath. Joel McIlveen. Katie McManus. Abigail McMaster. Kira O'Hare. Judy Puffin-Purakal. Emma Rose Skelly. Kira West. With a degree of Bachelor of Science of Honours in Sociology with Criminology, Amy Barr. Demi Bennett. Naomi Boyd. Maya Buskowska. Amelia Calderwood. Abby Carnduff. Bobby Colwell. Sophie Cusick. Danielle Delaney. Nicole Haslam. Leah Heaney. Megan Hegarty. Tabitha Hendrick. Kennedy Hughes. Amy Lee Hunter. Sarah Hunter. Megan Nicole Jest. Ethan Jared Kane. Megan Kemp. Lewis Kerr. Christina Kovakova. Shannon Mary Roberta Little. Morgan Haley Martin. Connor Michael McCabe. Tori McCallion. Emma McGee. Maya McHugh. Cody Minari. Sophie Murray. Veena Nguyen. Adam Roberts. Katie Thompson. Jodie Wright. The degree of Bachelor of Science of Honours in Sociology with Politics and International Studies, Holly Gibson. Catherine O'Neill. The Certificate in Community Youth Studies, Leah Katie Hagen. Marcus Matthew Haskins. Katie Eliza Hegarty Biggerstaff. Luke Anthony Robert Jennings. Neve McCarthy. John Connor McKinnon. Jack McLaughlin. Paulina Adisa Nayudoa. Jonathan Short. Leanna Kathleen Stewart. Nathan Wei Su. Mackenzie Ray Taylor. Vice-Chancellor, this concludes the presentation of candidates from the Faculty of Arts, Humanities and Social Sciences.
I call upon our honorary graduate, Dr. Kay, to address the congregation on behalf of those who have been presented.
Good morning and congratulations. I'd like first of all to thank the Vice-Chancellor, the Provost and everyone here at Ulster University for this astonishing award. It is an honour beyond imagining, and I am deeply grateful. What a privilege to be offered an abiding connection with this wonderful university, deservedly the UK and Ireland University of the Year, a university which has done so much to bring people together across its 3 campuses in this most beautiful part of the world, and to show, particularly here in Belfast, that with enough imagination and drive, a whole environment can be transformed and lives changed for the better too. This honour has largely been bestowed in recognition of the work of the British-Irish Association, and I accept it very gladly on behalf of its trustees, its friends, and the many people whose dedication and engagement has ensured its continuity over more than 50 years. The BIA, which is a charitable organisation, was founded in 1972. In that year, 479 people were killed. The year began with a bomb literally around the corner from here in Callender Street, and it ended in December with the murder of 2 children in Cavan. In the months in between, there were bombings across Northern Ireland, in Dublin, in England at Aldershot. There was Bloody Sunday in Derry, Bloody Friday in Belfast. It was indeed the deadliest year of the Troubles. The founder members of the BIA, then mostly based in London, saw an urgent need for a safe space, a place in which people from every affected community could meet out of the glare of the spotlights which so often shine fiercely on attempts at negotiation, then and now. A place, quite simply, where people could talk. And that is what we offer still to this day. Our conferences and workshops are designed to ensure that as people from as many different backgrounds as possible can gather in an environment where they feel free to discuss their concerns and, importantly, make connections which otherwise would not exist. I was a little skeptical about the usefulness of this forum when I first became involved, to tell the truth. Talk, after all, vanishes like smoke in the air. Is it possible for it to have genuine and lasting effects? Does one not need measurable outcomes and action? I was very soon converted. People made to feel individually welcome, meeting together, eating breakfast with whoever they happened to sit next to at the table, having a drink in a walled garden in an evening, quickly find that more connects than divides them. I've seen lasting friendships develop between people who could quite easily have killed each other if they had met in 1972. And there are, in fact, measurable outcomes as well. Politicians benefit from meeting informally as much as anyone else. And I can safely say that in the long years of Brexit negotiations, there were times when the BIA was helpful. Having acknowledged that this honour belongs mainly to the BIA, it gives me very great pleasure that the citation also mentions my other calling as a writer of fiction. Conference facilitation and literary fiction might seem to be worlds apart, and indeed they are in many ways, the one intensely sociable and outgoing, the other solitary. The real world versus the world of the creative imagination, one might think. But I would disagree with that. Forging connections takes imagination, creative empathy, in other words. And to create meaningful characters in a novel, characters whom readers can believe in, requires one to enter deeply into the mind of another, to forget the ego or the self. Writers of literary fiction are not surprisingly fond of the theory that reading it makes people more empathic. But just because that's a cliché doesn't mean it isn't true. There was a well-known experiment in which people were asked to listen to a heroin addict whom they knew to be either a real person or an actor. When the listeners were asked to take the addict's point of view, they became more sympathetic to addicts in general, even when they believed that the speaker was fictitious. What's interesting about this is that the listeners were hearing an interview. The addict wasn't speaking directly to them, seizing them by the collars, as it were, but speaking to someone else, a detached mediator. And that, it seems to me, is where storytelling and peace-building intersect. Giving people space to talk, and crucially, to listen, is not the same as banging heads together or pitting people with opposing views against each other like jousting knights. Instead, it's an invitation. Sit quietly, hear out the different narratives, and maybe then there'll be new ways of understanding, of reaching common ground. Another point of intersection, as I've suggested, is that mediation and writing fiction both benefit from a degree of detachment. That's fine, but no one wants to feel like an onlooker all the time. One of the greatest pleasures of having been at a university is that the connections which you make with the institution and with friends will stay with you your whole life. connections to be treasured, as I am sure that you, new graduates who are to be most warmly congratulated, already know. I am an outsider in the north of Ireland, but you at the University of Ulster have made me feel at home. Thank you.
Thank you, Dr. Kay, for what was a really meaningful and poignant address. I now call upon Alanis Miller, a new graduate in the Faculty of Arts, Humanities and Social Sciences, to propose a vote of thanks.
Hi everyone. University Provost, Vice-Chancellor, academic staff, and ladies and gentlemen, family and friends. I am honoured to speak to you on behalf of the Ulster University students here today. Can I just begin to say a massive congratulations to the class of 2025. So I attended Jordanstown School for the Deaf and Visually Impaired, where I completed my studies. I have always had a deep longing while at school to attend university. I was born profoundly deaf, but I never let my deafness stop me from achieving my goals. In school, I've always been passionate with sign language and, more importantly, deaf rights. When I was deciding upon what degree to choose to study, I found health and social care policy, and I thought this was the perfect course. For me, this would open so many doors for me to impact the future. When I first started at university, I was overwhelmed and nervous, as there was a tremendous jump from being in a small deaf class in a specialist school, from then entering into a large lecture theatre at university, as well as the huge cultural change adjustment, as I was from a deaf world and entering into a hearing world. However, I had the opportunity to step back into the deaf world during my work placement. I had the joy of meeting a lot of deaf-blind individuals led by Sense organisation, and I had the absolute joy of working alongside them. Additionally, alongside my studies, I even participated in a BSL theatre production play, Sleeping Beauty, as a deaf performer, and this was led by the Deaf Arts Festival by Create Theatre, who I had the absolute pleasure working with them also. Being at university, I have gained a wealth of knowledge. And not only that, I have learned so much about myself. I am more independent as a deaf person, and I can vocalise and speak up for what I believe in. And I learned this through policy making in different fields. When it came to my dissertation year, I knew this was my chance to shine. I did this by advocating for the Northern Ireland Sign Language Bill, which is currently in the process at Stormont, to help the deaf community have access to sign language interpreters within healthcare settings, education, to provide their native language, BSL and ISL. I decided to choose this topic because access to interpreters within healthcare, jobs, even in the benefits office, was difficult to achieve. And I wanted to break down the barrier, because this leads to a negative impact within the deaf community. I want to just stress how much we deeply value BSL and ISL as our home language, as part of deaf heritage. As my time here comes to an end at university, I still hope to continue fighting for the Northern Ireland Sign Language Bill, and I'm working with the deaf community and the British Deaf Association to achieve that, to preserve the deaf community and heritage. On behalf of my fellow students, we want to thank our families and friends who have supported us during our time at university. We would also like to thank the lecturers, the academic staff, for their hard work, their patience, and for being so understanding. We are also eternally grateful for the support we've received through the Student Wellbeing Office, the support staff, the note takers, the counsellors, and also the interpreters. I would especially like to thank my two interpreters, my BSL interpreters, Heather and Rachel, who are here today supporting me as always. I'd also especially like to thank my family and my partner for their unwavering support. I want to thank my mum and my stepdad, my dad, my stepmom, for the encouragement to believe in myself. Mum and Dad, you have always been my role models, and you have helped me to strive hard to achieve and become the woman I am today. I would also love to honour my grandfather, who unfortunately is no longer with us. He has watched me grow up while I was achieving so many things at Jordanstown School. He would have driven Mum and I to Belfast for cochlear implant appointments when I was little. Ever since I started university, he would always ask me, "How are you? All good? How are you doing?" And I would just tell him all about my day and what university life was like as a student. So I just want to thank my grandfather in honour of him today for supporting me through my life. I would like to finish with a quote by a well-known deaf actress, Marlee Matin. And this quote doesn't only apply to deaf people, but to everyone. Every one of us is different in some way. But for those who are more different, we have to make more effort to convincing those who are less different that we can do the same as them, just differently. I chose this quote because no matter who you are, what background you're from, those who have additional needs or not, we are all unique. And despite what circumstances we are in, we can achieve our goals in life.
lose my voice. And I stand here today proudly as a graduate of Ulster University. Can I just say one more time, congratulations to everyone. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Alanis, for your speech. We're now coming towards the end of the event, the graduation, and I have some formal words whereby I close the ceremony, but I've got a couple of things I'd like to do just prior to that. First of all, I would like us to give a round of applause to Daria de Brass, who have played us in and will play us out. Thank you. And of course, I'd like us all to give a big round of applause for our graduating students, the class of 2025. I declare this graduation ceremony closed and invite the new graduates to join the academic procession.